such an asshole.
From our Ashkenazi Jewish agent in the field, our good buddy Arcady. Hi, Aaron. New video request for you. Please name the number. If you were told about the lockdowns before they started, would you be able to guess that the left would be leaning towards having more restrictions while the right would lean towards less restrictions? Would you be able to guess that the right would be more resistant to lockdowns and mask mandates while the left would actually advocate for these measures? If so, how does that make sense? And how does this align with their general respective philosophies? And so I took some notes. Let me find those here. And it's pretty easy once you look at it. All right, so the first one, leftists are generally, what defines them above all else is they are willing to tax, i.e. enslave, more people to pay for more people. Not necessarily in breeding, but they're willing to take away people's freedoms in the form of taxing them more, making them have to work more, enslaving them more, having them have less free time to themselves, to provide security and safety for others, food safety, food, clothing, shelter, that type of thing. Where do Republicans and Democrats fall along this? I'm sure you'll find some Republicans like, maybe a little bit of help, or have, they're not against charity, but have the government out of it. But that is the defining principle of leftists is we are lazy. We don't want to work. We're going to hide behind the nobility of charity and make it forced through the government. And then it makes us feel good because we're voting for the right thing that makes us popular. Oh, and by the way, you're essentially bribing people to vote for us with other people's money. And that's it. They are more than willing to sacrifice other people's freedom for the sake, and even their own freedom. They will. I wonder why Jeff Bezos keeps voting Democrat. I wonder why Zuckerberg. Well, I guess they can all hate Trump. I guess I understand maybe that. But that defines it. Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, they value freedom over everything else. That is predominantly their main political pillar or platform. They want low taxes. They want to be left alone. They want to be able to make their own choices. They want to hang out and be forced to hang out with people they don't want to. Get government out of my way. Leave me be. Golden rule, as I'm not hurting anybody. No, da-da-da. And so from just their political DNA, Democrats and leftists are like, oh my God, there's a crisis. We have to do something as a group. Oh, by the way, everybody else has to do it too, not just us. Unless we are rich politicians who get haircuts and have dinners, then it doesn't apply to us, like Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom and the mayor of Chicago, Golem. That makes perfect sense to me. You can even say there's a bit of cowardice there. Like the Democrats are always afraid of work, afraid of risk. They don't want any risk. They don't want anything possibly bad to happen to them. They want all risk taken care of and outsourced and socialized among other people. Whereas I think right-leaning folks are like, I'll take the risk and I'll live with the consequences. But yeah, that right there, that's the number one thing that leftists value security. They put more value on security and safety over freedom. And so there's that. What else I got here? Oh, here's another one. This hasn't been mentioned much. I mention it every once in a while, but that's because I'm a political genius and people should really listen to me and say, oh, that's true. There is a kind of like the deep state, analogous to, there is a significant amount of people who have worthless degrees in crisis management, in public health, who now this is their one time in life to shine. And it kind of validates them pissing away 6 years on a master's in public health. Emergency management. Okay, we're going to manage the emergency, everybody. I have a degree in management. I don't know how many people, maybe 1 million people got worthless degrees in this stuff. Talk to Doc. He's probably seen it. Now, he's actually a specialist in safety. People pay him good money to go out there. But I guarantee he could probably speak better to me how many worthless government bureaucrats are out there who like have some kind of health, virology, emergency responder management, FEMA type of career. And these people, the country be damned. we have to now prove it's our time to shine. And we don't care how many people this sends to hanging themselves or taking sleeping pills. We're going to execute our authority and forget rights. Forget what's in the best interest of the entire country as a whole. I think there's a huge push there. And they have every incentive to keep this going on forever. I'm sure some of their budgets are getting funded, so there might be a financial incentive, but there's a huge ego incentive because I don't know how many old middle-aged ladies. I'm getting my degree in public health administration. So you were a doctor? No. You were a nurse? No. Nurse practitioner? No. Well, I just think I should manage all the people who are way more intelligent and smart and capable and skilled than I am. So that's it. And then this is the third reason. This is just as applicable as the previous two, is it's the thing, somebody do something. We have to do something. And I don't know what we'd call this because there's the Clary test, which is the greatest advancement in political science in the past 50 years. I would also say CAPI's optimal level of government theory, where I've talked about how there's an optimal level of government. The right amount, you don't want too few laws because then there's crime happening. You don't want too many laws because there's this good optimal amount of laws to have. And this is why the Texas legislature meets only once every 2 years. And because you don't need more laws. Well, again, kind of like people with their masters in public health or emergency management respondingness. You got people who are career politicians. And instead of just saying, well, for the past 250 years, we're trial and error. We kind of fine-tuned it. We got the right amount of laws. You just really don't do anything. Nope. They have to do something. Banning plastic bags, banning plastic straws, painting bike lanes. We need a light rail transit. So I'm starting to lose my voice now. All this worthless crap that is now going past the level of optimal laws and now is too many laws. Now it's crippling. Now it's suffocating. Now it's choking off genuine production and people's happiness. Or it's just a completely expensive boondoggle like light rail transit is. And so once again, these politicians put themselves and their careers and their egos beyond what's in the best interests of the populations they presumably serve, and they have to do something. And I'm sure you could look up all the dumb laws, all leftists, not one rightist comes up with a dumb law. Well, sometimes they do. But what was it? Well, there's a gal in Texas that came up with law banning men from masturbating because there was an abortion law. I'm like, okay, obviously that was a statement. But there's just these anal retentive up your asshole laws that these leftists come up with because they have to. Remember that? Do you remember the German at Deutsche Bank, who had the blonde hair and the blue eyes, and he was very Aryan. And he thought that he could come up with an idea, and that was, we would tax all you people who are working from home 5% because other people cannot work from home. And you are benefiting unfairly. And we should somehow, we do not care how it is implemented because I am the idea guy, I'm the big idea guy, is for people who need to be shot in the street to come up with the implementation, But this big idea guy over at Deutsche Bank, I think his name was Luckman. Very good German name, And he said we should tax everybody who has the privilege of working from home so that we could help out the people who could not work from home. It's like, dude, can you just let the fucking economy grow as it is? Can you just let it be? Or does your dick need to be in everybody's souffle? Not that everybody eats souffle. The point being, these worthless tyrants, they're worse, they're evil tyrants. They will force laws down society's throat, not because it's in the best interest of society, but because it makes them feel good and they can put, see, I did this. Look, I did this. I'd say it's more ego satisfaction than them pointing and saying, look, I did something with my if it was me, I'd say, like, I undid a lot of things. I undid a lot of things. I didn't pass one new law. No, I want more freedom, less laws. There'd be a lot less laws on it. The Justinian laws of simplification, if anyone's really nerdy. And so those three things, that it's the political nature of leftists to trade safety in, freedom in for safety, that there's a cabal, I wouldn't say a deep state, but a cabal of worthless degreed people who, not, this is their one time that their degree is actually going to maybe get some use. And then politicians, they just have to do something. We have to do something. And it's like, well, why don't you just let the thing come through? We all get it. And then we're, but no, they got to do something regardless of whether it's in the best interest of the people or not. And there you go. Any super chats? We have is it Busako man? He's got euros. He does. He donates obscure euro amounts. 1.09 euro with the super sticker that I can't see. A long story short, for $2, what is the line you quote from Jesus Built My Hot Rod? Where you come from, it's gone. Where you thought you were going to, weren't never there. And where you are ain't no good unless you can get away from it. Best quote ever. Grady Ingersoll for $5. No offense, Cappy, but just wondering, is part of the reason you stopped talking politics because Antifa threatened you? No. It's repetitive. I already know the end of the story. Nobody listened to me. And it's for my mental health, really. That's the primary reason. I get sick and tired of getting angry all the time. I eat at a lot of restaurants because I don't cook much. And I get angry when I see, because it's all sports ball. We can't ever throw on something other than sports ball. And 6 out of the 7 times it's and here's a Black Lives Matter commercial. Hey, we're getting, shut the fuck. I mean, and then I get angry and I get pissed. I don't need to be reminded of politics. And so it's for my 2021 is the year Cappy tries to be happy. Oh, and you can all laugh at that. Look, Cappy's going to try and calm down and be happy. That's like Vince over at Masculine Geeks trying to not be gay. I hope he's listening. But yeah, it has nothing to do with Antifa. Antifa's never threatened me. I've gotten death threats before, but that was long before Antifa was a thing. And then I haven't gotten a death threat in years. Remember, girls used to send me nudie pics. I would get the occasional dick pic from gay guys, and I get the occasional death threat. And now I don't get any of that. And they all kind of vanished at the same time. So I don't know why. I don't know why that is. Let's keep scrolling. Keep those doggies scrolling. Whoa, something cool for $20. Thank you, man. Getting a night watch job was the best advice you have ever given. Thank you. Cappy winning again. Something cool. Would you say I changed your life more than teachers did? For the better. I mean, teachers change your lives for the worse. I mean, no matter what. It's like, come here and sit in front of me. I have to validate my existence by hating on you children for my shitty math choices. I changed lives. Castle Consulting, changing more lives than all teachers ever did. I get paid to practice math, programming, and read. The best part is not having to deal with normies. I never tie. I never have any questions, so here's some money. Thanks, man. Glad you gave me money. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad that helped. That's it. All right. I think a couple more, and the Cappy will be caught up. Until tomorrow when people pay. See you guys a little bit. Toodles.